Now, ITP is complex, it's unpredictable, we all know this, but the future really is brighter than it has ever really been before. And ultimately, this really makes me really excited, and I hope it's getting you guys all excited as well. Welcome to Beyond the Count. I'm founder and CEO of ITP Australia and New Zealand, and your host, Danielle Boyle. This is a space created for the ITP community by the ITP community, where we share real stories, expert insights, and everything in between. Whether you're living with immune thrombocytopenia, supporting someone who is, or just curious about what life looks like beyond the bruises and the blood tests, you're in the right place. So whether you're driving, out for a walk, folding the laundry, or just sitting back and tuning in, let's dive in and go beyond the count. ASH, or the American Society of Haematology 2025 annual conference, has wrapped in Orlando, Florida. And as always, it was an incredible few days of learning, connecting, and seeing firsthand just how fast the ITP landscape is evolving. Today's episode is a little different. Instead of our usual conversational format where we have a special guest, I'm taking you behind the scenes of the world's largest haematology conference to share the key research, some standout sessions, and why events like ASH and ISTH matter so much for patients here in Australia and in New Zealand. You'll also hear from a few of our medical advisors and research who are actually there, including our very own Associate Professor Phil Choi, Professor Nichola Cooper from the UK, Dr Michele Lambert from the US, and Taylor Bowles, Research Associate at the Platelet Disorder Support Association, or PDSA. Let's dive into ASH 2025. ASH, or the American Society of Haematology annual meeting, is the largest haematology conference in the world. More than 30,000 people attended this year, being its 67th year, including clinicians, researchers, industry partners, and some patient organisations, just like ITP ANZ. So why do patient support groups attend? Because being in the room matters. It means we hear the latest research firsthand. We can ask questions directly to the people running these trials and this research. We build relationships that help shape future decisions. We advocate for patient voice on a global stage, and we can bring all of that knowledge home to our community. We have to remember, though, that ITP is a rare disease, and that means staying connected globally is essential. And ASH is where the world comes together every single year. Now, as I mentioned earlier, ASH is one of the largest haematology conferences annually. While the meeting officially ran from the 6th to the 9th of December, there were meetings being held throughout Orlando, and I'm talking hundreds of meetings in the days prior to the conference officially kicking off. Now, we participated in nearly 10 individual meetings ourselves, attended countless presentations, some of which we'll touch on shortly, and roamed the research poster halls and viewed over 80 ITP research posters and abstracts, covering everything from quality of life, paediatric ITP, clinical trials, case studies, emerging therapies, and more. One of our meetings we attended prior to the official kickoff, and an absolute highlight every year to attend, is the ITP PDSA breakfast meeting, where global experts and patient organisations come together. And this meeting is the reason why ITP ANZ now hosts the annual ITP breakfast meeting at our annual haematology conference, Blood, each year. Now, researchers and clinicians are encouraged to submit research for presentation at this meeting prior to the event, which is attended by over 200 clinicians each year. And so this year being our third year in attendance, I can guarantee you the 2025 meeting did not disappoint. Now, I grabbed a quick chat with our Associate Professor, Dr Phil Choi, right after the session. So let's get into it.
There are so many highlights to reflect on, but for me, the stuff that's most exciting was Carol and Trautmann Briller's talk on CAR T from Germany.
Yep.
Those 3 cases of quite
refractory,
significantly difficult patients who'd failed pretty much everything else under the sun,
Yeah.
who then got CAR T as a last-ditch effort, and they all did okay.
Yeah.
And the fact that it can be well tolerated, and the way that it correlates with what's been seen around the world
Yeah.
is very exciting. CAR T is probably not going to be the solution for everyone.
No.
And we heard excellent talk from Sylvain Aldier as well, not just B-cell depletion, but also different subsets of CD8 T cells.
Yeah.
And how there's quite likely different subsets of ITP out there.
So there is definitely clearly. ITP is the umbrella disease, and I've heard you describe that before. ITP is the umbrella, and there's all these other elements and diseases going on.
Yeah. And one day I think we will get better at trying to pick the right treatment for the right patient. But for now, it's actually just great to know that there's more and more tools like Rilzabrutinib that's been licensed, and of course CAR T and targeting CD19, let alone targeting BCMA and plasma cells. There's nothing today about daratumumab or mezagitamab, but we know that those studies are ongoing, really exciting as well. This is a really exciting new era for ITP.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Considering, 15, 20 years ago when TPOs were coming through the pipeline, now we're in that next exciting phase, I think, too, which is exciting for patients.
Yeah, I mean, TPOs...
And clinicians as well.
Yeah, I mean, TPOs are like just different flavors of gelato, whereas now we've got like pastries
Gelato and ice cream
and
cheesecake,
pies, and we've got like lots of different styles of
we've got a bakery now.
Yeah, we got
Yeah, no, I think it's really promising, and enjoy the rest of ASH.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks to our sponsor Sobi for their ongoing support of ITP Australia and New Zealand and our podcast Beyond the Count.
So let's break down some of the most important updates that we saw at ASH in 2025. Now, the first one was CAR T therapy in ITP. Now, Phil mentioned this in his little piece not too long ago, and it was one of the most talked about topics. Now, CAR T is still really early, still experimental, and definitely not for everyone, but the cases presented included patients that had failed pretty much every treatment, and they showed some really promising results. Now, this is the first time that we've seen CAR T seriously considered in ITP, and it signals a shift towards, more targeted personalised therapies, which is something that we've been pushing for quite some time. The second key research that we saw at ASH this year was the shared decision-making poster from the PDSA. So I spoke with Taylor Bowles from the PDSA, and all of this information came from their ITP natural history registry, which they have been running for quite a few years. Let's hear a little bit from Taylor about the research itself. So Taylor, give me a 60-second wrap of your poster.
So this summer we looked at our natural history registry and looked at patient demographics and physician satisfaction surveys. And we were looking to see if our patients feel that their practitioners participate in shared decision making. And overwhelmingly we found yes. But surprisingly we found that only 2% of patients said their physicians told them about support groups. So that's an area we need to improve on for sure. And something else that was really interesting is that physicians had a lower rate of SDM compared to nurse practitioners. That was not statistically significant due to a small sample size, but with our 2.0 registry launching next year, we're sure that we're going to get more responses and we'll be able to test that. So we're very happy. Shared decision making was discussed several times at the conference, and it was actually put in the new ITP guidelines. So we're excited to have this poster. We've already had quite a few physicians come by and be very interested in it. We had someone from Japan come and say that their physicians usually do not participate in shared decision making, and they want to make that better. We also had someone from Bangladesh, a physician, come by and say that he wants to participate in shared decision making, and he wants to become part of the ITP International Alliance. So we're really getting that message out there. We're really proud of the poster.
Now, her findings were fascinating. Patients overwhelmingly feel involved in their decisions, but only 2% of them said that their doctor told them about the PDSA. So I'd be really interested to hear from everybody to see, have you actually heard your clinician talk to you about ITP, ANZ, or nurse practitioners, etc., to identify, is this an area that we need to, I suppose, improve on as well, to encourage clinicians and more clinicians to provide patients, and especially newly diagnosed patients, with the details of their local support group. Now, one of the big things that was released at ASH was the Rilzabrutinib quality of life and fatigue improvements. So we spoke with Professor Nichola Cooper from the UK about her poster on Rilzabrutinib. Here's what she had to say.
One of the really important things about the Rilzabrutinib trial is that not only did it improve the platelet count, but actually also it improved quality of life. So Rilzabrutinib is a BTK inhibitor. It's undergone a number of different clinical trials, including randomized controlled trials. It's just been licensed for use in patients with chronic ITP. But really critically, in addition to increasing the platelet count, people felt better. So their fatigue went up, and it didn't matter if the platelet count went up. So you can have an increase in improvement in your fatigue even if the platelet count doesn't come up. We need to validate this in much larger studies, but I think it's very exciting. First of all, that they did the quality of life and fatigue studies, but secondly, that there was a response in that. So I think this is an exciting drug that might help to treat fatigue. So it's kind of exciting.
And you heard there, the big takeaway, right, is Rilzabrutinib didn't just improve platelet counts, it improved fatigue, even in patients whose platelet counts didn't rise. Now, this is massive, right, because over the years, we've transitioned from fatigue actually being acknowledged as an ITP symptom, but, we've never really been able to go, okay, so this is what we can do, and this is what we can use to then help improve fatigue, because we're all about improving platelet counts and reducing bleeding risks, right? But fatigue is one of the most debilitating symptoms of ITP and is often overlooked. So this is something that we are talking with Sanofi, the industry partner, who's responsible for Rilzabrutinib. It's not currently available in Australia. It is available in the US and has recently been approved over the Christmas period for European patients and European use. So watch this space. Now, continuing on with Rilzabrutinib, we spoke with Dr Michele Lambert about women's health and Rilzabrutinib as well, and when it comes to ITP. Here's what she had to say.
Well, the basic take-home message is that the patients that were in the LUNA-3 trial, this is a post-hoc analysis, and we looked at women's reproductive health questions from the ITP pack. And in those patients that were treated with Rilzabrutinib, there was an improvement in their scores, in their health-related quality of life scores in the women's health domain, while the patients that were on the placebo treatment actually had a decrease in their scores and a worsening of their health-related quality of life. So the change in score was a pretty significant difference. So basically that Rilzabrutinib really helps things like menstrual health and potentially sexual function in that women's health domain.
It's really fascinating, right? Her findings showed improved menstrual health, improved sexual function, and better overall quality of life for women on Rilzabrutinib as well. So we're actually really starting to target down on women's health as well, which is definitely a focus for us at ITP ANZ over the coming years. So it's exciting to see some meaningful data, emerge in this particular area. Now, the fifth bit of research that we thought was quite a highlight of ASH this year was the trial results for HIT2 clinical trial, or the ianalumab and eltrombopag treatment, a clinical trial that's currently running here in Australia as well. There are quite a few sites that are actually utilising this treatment and have clinical trials running in their sites. One of the biggest announcements was that adults who failed first-line steroids significantly had a longer time to treatment failure. So what that means is that they came off treatment. So the period from when the treatment started working to the time that patients actually had to go back onto treatment, it was actually significantly longer time to treatment failure. Had a high sustained response rate. Again, talking very similarly to Rilzabrutinib, improved fatigue. There were fewer bleeding events, and it was safe and well tolerated, with many patients able to taper off on eltrombopag entirely. So this could be a major step forward in early second-line treatment in the future. So, you know, these are some of the elements and some of the things that we did see at ASH, and, you know, I'm only just scratching the surface here. So we will be putting all of these posters, etc., and all of this research onto our website as well. So make sure you jump on itpanz.org.au, and there is an article going up on the website as well, which will include a lot of this information as well. So why does this all matter? You know, why does this all matter to patients specifically in Australia and New Zealand? All of this work is being done and presented obviously in the US. So what does this actually mean for you as an individual patient itself? You know, they are very significant, and it really does mean that there are more treatment options coming down the pipeline. You know, we've been talking about these new treatments for a little while, and now we're actually starting to see a lot of these results. You know, a lot of this research and all of these clinical trials are also heavily focusing on things like quality of life and not just the platelet count, which is extremely important. And you saw there in a couple of different pieces of the research is that even fatigue is being heavily highlighted and scrutinised and reviewed as part of this research and part of these clinical trials. Global collaboration is stronger than ever. You know, ITP ANZ, along with other international ITP Alliance members, are actually being considered, and we're part of, you know, the discussions for when some of these clinical trials actually, before they even come to Australia, before the industry partners find trial sites and those sorts of things as well. So we're actually part of a greater network as well, and working globally, you know, really does elevate us as part of a larger voice. And then, you know, also ensuring that the patient voice is being heard right across every aspect. I think it's extremely important. Now, ITP is complex, it's unpredictable, we all know this, but the future really is brighter than it has ever really been before. And, you know, ultimately, this really makes me really excited, and I hope it's getting you guys all excited as well. Okay, so the episode today was a little bit different, but I hope you all got a lot out of the episode today. And before we wrap up, here are 4 key takeaways from this particular episode. Number 1, ITP research is accelerating. The new therapies targeting B cells, T cells, and even complementary systems is only getting faster and faster, and there is even more coming through the pipeline. Number 2, quality of life is finally being prioritised. Not just menstrual health, not just daily function, but fatigue are now central to a lot of the outcomes in the clinical trials, and the research is currently being completed in the ITP space. Number 3, shared decision-making, shared decision-making, shared decision-making. It's essential. And global data is showing that there is still so much work to do. And, you know, together, globally, we can definitely make a difference. Number 4, patient organisations like ITP ANZ, like the PDSA, like the UK Patient Association, we are all playing a critical role, especially collaboratively. Ensuring that patient voice is presented in global research and treatment decisions is one piece of the puzzle, and we can't do that without your support and without you guys helping us along the way. Now, before I wrap up, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that was able to give me some grabs while I was at ASH this year. This includes our very own Associate Professor, Dr Phil Choi in Canberra, Professor Nichola Cooper in the UK, Dr Michele Lambert in the US, and Research Coordinator Taylor Bowles for the PDSA for sharing your insights and your highlights at ASH this year. And for everything that all of you do, for the ITP community, not just at ASH, but the day-to-day as well. We thank you so much, and we definitely couldn't do it without you. If you're looking for support, connection or information, visit itpanz.org.au. You'll find The Count, our quarterly magazine, patient stories, treatment information sheets, clinical guidelines, and a wide range of resources designed to help you and your family feel informed and supported. Most importantly, you'll know that you're not alone. There's a whole community here just waiting for you. If this episode was helpful, please share it with others in the ITP community and leave us a review on your podcast platform. It helps more people find Beyond the Count. We've got more expert conversations, patient stories, and more coming soon. So hit the follow or subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for listening as we go beyond the count together.